Hello and welcome to IndianExpress.com's YouTube channel, and today we are taking a look back at the year 2022 for big tech companies. Now, it wasn't a great year for most of big tech companies because we saw massive layoffs, crazy takeovers, scams as well, and of course, regulators are also going in a big way after these companies. Here's a look at the biggest tech failures of 2022. So let's start with the first one, which has to be Elon Musk's takeover of Twitter. Now, this one started in the beginning of 2022 and it's still raging on, and it will likely continue all the way to 2023 as well. First, it was that Musk was supposed to join Twitter's board. Then he made a takeover bid for $44 billion. Then he tried to back away from the bid because, Twitter had apparently lied about its followers and bots. Twitter eventually did take him to court and Musk completed the deal in October. And it's been chaos since then. First, Musk quickly fired half of Twitter's employees, which is around 3,700 people. In fact, he's still been firing people. He also told employees to prepare for Twitter 2.0, which was going to be much more hardcore. He's even reportedly turned some rooms in the office into bedrooms because he wants employees to work at Twitter 24/7. And there's been a lot of chaos in general. So Musk has even changed policies on Twitter, something he said he wouldn't do till he formed a moderation council. So far, he's actually restored accounts of many people who had been banned on the platform, some of whom had a proven record for hate speech. And President Donald Trump also had his Twitter account restored after a popular vote. Musk also wants people to pay $8 to hold on to that blue tick and some special features. So there's been a lot of chaos in general at Twitter. Now, whether Musk can actually turn this around next year is something the world will be watching, but no doubt Twitter's credibility as a platform has taken a huge hit in 2022. Let's move on to Zuckerberg's metaverse, which is clearly crumbling. Now, Zuckerberg has made a big bet on the metaverse, which is supposed to be a virtual world where all of us can interact and live and even work eventually in the future. But it hasn't quite paid off. Now, we know that Facebook changed its name to Meta last year, but this bet appears to not be working. For one, the metaverse division and the virtual reality division is quite a drain on the company's resources. Meta's ad revenues have also been shrinking all throughout 2022. The company even sacked 11,000 employees this year. Its Horizon World, which is the company's VR world feature, was mocked because it was not quite adequate and it still is very rudimentary. Overall, Zuckerberg's vision for the metaverse is not playing out as he would have hoped, and he's even facing tough questions from regulators in the US over deals on virtual reality. Now, will the good times return for Meta in 2023? It doesn't look like, but the world will definitely be watching. Then let's talk about Amazon and its year of crisis as well. Now, Amazon also announced layoffs this year. Around 10,000 employees were expected to be impacted by this. But Amazon CEO Andy Jassy has made it very clear that these layoffs will continue in 2023 as well. Amazon's operating income also declined in 2022, and there were tough times overall. Amazon's retail divisions, human resources, its Alexa unit were all impacted by these layoffs. In fact, the Alexa unit has been particularly troublesome because it's not bringing in the profits as Amazon would have hoped. Will Amazon be able to turn things around in 2023? We'll have to wait and see. Finally, let's talk about Apple and the complicated year that it had. For one, Apple faced supply issues when it came to the iPhone 14 series, especially the iPhone 14 Pro. Now, this is mostly because there were COVID-induced lockdowns in China, and that's where most of the iPhone 14 Pro is manufactured. Apple is supposed to be, moving out its manufacturing from China into Vietnam and India, but that will take some time, and supply chain was an issue for Apple this year. Then there was the 10th generation iPad. Now, it was a confusing product because it was definitely more expensive and it did come with some advances, but there were some issues. For one, it supported the first generation pencil from Apple, but this iPad now comes with a USB-C port. So how would you charge the pencil? Because then you'd need an adapter for the same, which was again confusing. And the product was definitely more expensive. Even iPad OS 16, which was supposed to bring more multitasking features, wasn't seen to be quite the game changer that it was promised to be. And it was delayed as well. Overall, Apple also had a slightly rough year. And finally, let's talk about one of the biggest tech failures of 2022, and that would have to be the cryptocurrency market. Frankly, if you're a crypto investor, our sympathies, because this year the market was in complete free fall. Scams dominated the headline, and investors all over the world continue to lose money on this. The biggest fall, of course, was the collapse of FTX, which was the third largest exchange in terms of volume. And its founder, Sam Bankman Fried, or SBF, was eventually arrested because he used customer deposits to fund bets at his hedge fund, Alameda Research. While the truth of what happened at FTX is still being uncovered, there's no doubt that the scam has only increased skepticism for the cryptocurrency world. Will the good times return for crypto? We'll have to wait and see. So those were the biggest tech failures from 2022 according to us. Let us know what you think in the comments and whether you agree. And do subscribe to Indian Express's YouTube channel.